Hi, I'm Neil, 35, and last Saturday at our anniversary party, my wife stood up, raised a glass, and screamed in front of 40 guests. I know you're cheating. Everyone knows. I just smiled. Really? I said. Then I played the Bluetooth recording of her affair partner confessing their 8-month relationship. I didn't flinch. I didn't yell. I just pressed play. His voice spilled into the room like a confession booth with surround sound. Look, man. I'm sorry. It started 8 months ago at the conference. She said you were emotionally abusive, that she needed to make you look bad so the divorce would favor her. You could hear forks drop. Her cheeks strained. Her mascara cracked under the heat of 40 stares. I'm Neil. I'm a software developer. I like code, quiet, and predictability. My wife. She works in marketing. She's spontaneous. Charismatic. Also, apparently, a master of long cons. We'd been married 7 years, together 10. Shared a home I inherited from my grandfather, house fully paid off. Combined income around $180,000. No kids, one old golden retriever, and a joint account we contributed to in rough balance. Things were fine. At least I thought so. Until 3 months ago. She started doing the thing, phone always face down. More team building weekends, more late nights. Her work friend? Suddenly front and center in every story. Oh, he's hilarious. He helped me with the pitch. You'd like him. When I finally asked, she gave me the look. You're being insecure. That one line? That shut me up. Because no one wants to be the jealous husband. But silence has a cost. And mine was losing the ability to recognize when I was being played. It got worse. Criticisms. Constant little cuts. My hobbies? Childish. My friends? Dead ends. My clothes? Boring. And then one night she moved to the guest room. You snore, she said. I don't snore. But I let it go. Again. Because I didn't want to believe the obvious. Until the night her iPad lit up while she was in the shower. I wasn't snooping. I was reaching for a charger. But then. Miss you already? Tonight was amazing. I clicked. Dozens of messages. Photos. Chats about me. How clueless I was. How easy this was. How she couldn't wait to get what she deserved in the divorce. That word, deserved. I sat there, staring at the screen, realizing this wasn't a crisis. It was a setup. But I didn't confront her. I took screenshots. Uploaded everything to a private cloud. Put the iPad back exactly how I found it. And then I waited. Planned? Because I knew something she didn't. I'd already seen the ending of this movie. I just rewrote the last scene. The minute I realized she was building a case, I stopped being a husband and started being a strategist. She was laying the groundwork. Picking fights. Posting vague Facebook quotes like, "Know your worth," and "Some people only love you when you're useful." She told friends I was cold. Controlling. Said I'd changed. And then came the performance. She suggested we throw a party. Our 7-year anniversary. She beamed. We should celebrate. Go big. Invite everyone. This from a woman who forgot our 5th anniversary. Who hadn't touched me in 2 months. That's when I knew this wasn't a party. It was a trap. She wanted an audience for the big betrayal scene. She'd accuse me of cheating. Look shocked. Cry. Collect witnesses. Cement the narrative. But she didn't know, I'd already made my move. I'd called her affair partner. Found his number while she was in the shower one morning. Hey, I said calmly. This is Neil. Her husband. Dead silence. I'm not calling to threaten you. I just want to understand what I'm walking into. Man to man. He hesitated, then started talking. I met him at a coffee shop. One party consent state. I hit record on my phone. He told me everything. Started 8 months ago. First time was at a conference. Became regular. Twice a week. Tuesdays and Saturdays. They talked about me, about how I'd never see it coming. She said I was controlling. Emotionally distant. Said she was going to Flip the narrative. Frame me as a cheater. Make me out to be unstable. Said I'd either admit it, or explode. Either way, she'd get the upper hand. He looked miserable by the end of it. She's been intense, he muttered. Like this is a chess game. It was. But I wasn't the pawn. After he left, I edited the recording. Clipped it to the good parts. Clear statements. Timeline. Motivation. Saved it to a backup drive. Synced it to my phone. Connected the speaker in our living room via Bluetooth. I was ready. The night of the party, she was radiant. Hair done, makeup flawless, new dress. He showed up late. They tried to act casual, but the energy? Obvious. They didn't make eye contact on purpose. That type of overacting only guilty people do. Everyone was there. My family. Her family. Work friends. Her whole crew. Drinks flowed. She was floating from group to group like a hostess on a cruise ship. Then she clinked her glass. Speech time! She stood in the center of the room. I was next to her, smiling. Playing the part. 7 years? She started. And I wanted tonight to be about love. But I can't pretend anymore. The room stilled. She turned to me. I know you've been cheating. Gasps. I've seen the messages. The calls. The lies. You've checked out of this marriage. And I'm done pretending. Her voice cracked on cue. Her sister ran to her side. Her mother dabbed her eyes. The crowd bristled, murmurs spreading. She turned to the guests. You all saw it, she said. How distant he's been. How cold. He's not the man I married. That was her crescendo. The peak of the act. She looked at me, expecting me to stammer. To deny. To unravel. I didn't. Instead, I pulled out my phone. Connected to the speaker. Tapped play. Look, man. I'm sorry. It started 8 months ago at the conference. We've been seeing each other twice a week. She said she needed to make you look bad so the divorce would favor her. Silence. Then his voice filled the room again. She said you'd either admit it or get violent. That way she could get what she deserved. My wife stumbled backward. The entire room stared at her. Her work friends backed away. Her mom stopped crying mid-sniffle. Her dad's jaw was clenched so hard it looked painful. I stopped the recording. She hissed at me. You recorded him? One-party consent, I said. Completely legal. Unlike adultery. Which, by the way, does affect divorce settlements in this state. Her father left the party without a word. Her friends? Radioactive. You set me up, she whispered. No, I said. You set me up. I just came prepared. Then I turned to the room. Sorry, everyone. Didn't want to do it like this. But she's right. Lying is over. I walked to the door. Oh, I added. I filed for divorce this morning. You'll be served Monday. You might want to start looking for a place to stay. And then I left. My own party. No regrets. I didn't look back when I left that house. The lawn was still full of confused guests. Inside, she was probably scrambling for damage control. Didn't matter. I just turned her trap into a public reveal party, except the secret wasn't mine. I drove straight to my brother's place. Told him everything. We laughed for maybe 5 straight minutes. Dude, he wheezed. You walked out of your own anniversary party like a mic drop in a divorce movie. That night, my phone blew up. Texts. Voicemails. Emails. A few angry ones from her mom. Most were supportive. Friends saying they had suspicions that something always felt off. The ones who were at the party. They didn't need an explanation. They'd heard the truth. The next morning, I made sure all the locks were changed. New security system. New passwords. Everything digital or physical that she once had access to? Gone. Then came her. She showed up at 3 p.m., tried her key. Didn't work. Started banging on the door. I answered through the ring cam. Hey. You're not allowed in. Your stuff will be ready for pickup Saturday. Text me a time. You can't kick me out of my own house. She snapped. Actually, it's my house. I inherited it 5 years ago. Deeds in my name. Always has been. She screamed. Cried. Threatened. Said I was heartless. I documented everything. The tantrum. The screaming. She stood there for half an hour yelling on my lawn. Perfect footage for court. Then she got served, on Monday, just like I promised. At work. In front of co-workers. Guess who was there? Him. The guy. He avoided eye contact. She apparently made a scene. One of her friends texted me. It was bad. Her lawyer started off aggressive. Tried to threaten spousal support, a share of the house, some nonsense about emotional distress. My lawyer shut it down fast. Did your client mention the 8-month affair? Did she mention the recorded confession? Did she mention the 40 witnesses at the party? Long pause. Then, we'll be in touch. Next came her mom. Different number. Different approach. How could you do this to her? She made a mistake. She didn't know what she was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. I said. She was running a long con to set me up. I just didn't roll over and let her. Click. Blocked. Then it got weird. Came home from work one evening to find her inside the house. She climbed in through the bathroom window. Just sitting there. Like we were about to have a cozy chat. Like she hadn't tried to destroy me 48 hours ago. We need to talk, she said. No, I replied. You need to leave. You're trespassing. This is my home. No. It's my house. You broke in. That's a crime. She did the crying thing. Said she ended it with him. That we could fix this. No, I repeated. What do you mean, no? She snapped. Don't you love me? I loved who I thought you were. That person doesn't exist. She got ugly after that. You're not getting away with this. I'll take everything. Half the house. Your retirement. Alimony for life. You'll be paying me forever. House is mine. I said. Retirement? Depends on the judge. But I've got receipts. Literally. She grabbed her purse. Slammed the door hard enough to knock a picture off the wall. That night? Locksmith came again. New window locks. $900 in upgrades. Worth. Every cent. Then came HR at her company. Apparently, she'd filed a complaint. Said I was harassing her by having her served at work. I got a call from their legal. I calmly explained the affair. Sent them the recording. Silence. Thank you, Mr. Adams. We were unaware of that relationship. That violates company policy. 2 days later, both of them fired. Strict non-fraternization clause. Especially between people in the same division. She texted from another number. You got me fired. I'm suing. I replied. You got yourself fired. I just answered questions. Block that number too. She's currently crashing with her sister. The sister who backed her up at the party, until she heard the full story. Apparently they're fighting now. But the real cherry on top? Her car. Titled in my name. She had bad credit when we got married, so I bought it. I'd made every single payment. Called my lawyer. Can I sell it? Is the title in your name? Yup. Then it's your car. Do what you want. Took it to a dealership. $8,400. Not great, but clean sale. She texted. Where's my car? I replied. My car. I sold it. You can check the title. You can't do that. I just did. She left a screaming voicemail. Send it to my lawyer. More evidence. Her lawyer tried again. Said selling the car was financial abuse. Mine send over the paperwork and payment records. Response? Your client's claim has no legal standing. Kindly advise her to stop embarrassing herself. Last I heard, she's borrowing her sister's car. And even that is on thin ice. The divorce process? Honestly? It went faster than expected, but not because she made it easy. She just kept firing her lawyers. The first one quit after she screamed at him in his office. The second dropped her after she refused to accept reality, mainly that the house was mine. The third? Basically just trying to get her to sign the settlement before she burned through her fourth retainer. She came in hot. Wanted the house. Wanted $3,000 a month in spousal support. Wanted half my retirement. My lawyer laughed. We offered $500 per month for 18 months. Judge leaned toward $850 for 24 months. Not ideal. But I could live with it. A 2-year told to buy peace and dignity. She tried everything to make it worse. Claimed I forced her to quit her job. The same job she was fired from for screwing a coworker. Judge didn't buy it. She claimed selling the car was abuse. My lawyer walked the court through 5 years of payment history, every single one made by me. Title in my name. Paid in full. The judge actually rolled his eyes. He can sell his own car, he said flatly. Then she pulled her last big card. Said the recording, the one I played at the party, was revenge porn. I swear, her lawyer almost choked on the words. Your Honor, my client believes the recording was meant to humiliate her. The judge blinked. It was an audio confession from the affair partner. At a public party. Where your client falsely accused her husband of cheating. He tapped his pen. That's not revenge porn. That's evidence. Motion denied. Outside court, she tried the sad eyes. Kneel, she said, voice soft. I'm sorry. Really? We had 7 good years. Doesn't that count for something? 8 months of lying cancels that out. We could still be friends. No. You're really going to throw it all away? You already did. I'm just signing the cleanup. Her mom was there too. Still giving me the death glare. I didn't care. I went home to a house that felt peaceful for the first time in months. No tension. No schemes. No knives in the back. Just silence. And space. That week I got promoted. $15,000 raise. Happened after the divorce filing, so it didn't count in the settlement. Timing. Sometimes karma does clock in. Paid off my car in full. Moved that old $380 monthly payment straight into investments. Retirement fund? Growing again. I started sleeping better. Eating better. Living better. Painted the bedroom. New sheets. New furniture. Bought that gaming setup I always wanted, the one she mocked every time I brought it up. Turns out spending money on things that bring you joy isn't a crime. I started playing basketball again. Joined a rec league. 2 nights a week with guys who don't gaslight me. It's amazing what fresh air, sweat, and laughter can do for the soul. Dating? Lightly. Coffee here and there. No pressure. It's been a long time since someone looked at me like I was interesting, not just a mark to manipulate. My brother and I are closer now. He was at the party. He said. I knew something was off. Just didn't know it was that deep. We grab dinner once a week. Sometimes we talk about it. Sometimes we just eat. My mom still checks in. Calls every Sunday. I'm proud of you, she said one night. A lot of men would have lost their minds. But you handled it with dignity. I didn't always feel dignified. Some nights I'd lie awake, thinking, how did I miss it? But then I'd remember, I didn't miss it. I caught it. Before she could finish the scam. She's still telling people I was abusive. That I ruined her career. That I manipulated the situation. Let her. 40 people at that party heard the truth with their own ears. The rest? They can believe whatever lie helps her sleep. Meanwhile, she's couch surfing at her sister's place. Still unemployed. Still blaming everyone but herself. And the guy? Ghosted. Didn't even make it a month after the job loss. Apparently he liked the thrill, not the consequences. The group chat she used to run with her boss babe, friends? Crickets. But me? I'm good. No more secrets. No more second guessing. Just me. My house. My peace. And receipts. Final hearing was quiet. No dramatics. Just pen scratching, numbers confirmed, documents signed. Divorce finalized. House. Mine. Fully. No contest. Retirement? I kept 65% of the marital portion. Spousal support? $850 per month for 24 months. Not great, but manageable. Her debt? Hers. My debt? Mine. She signed the paperwork last Thursday. No fanfare. No apology. Just silence and a heavy sigh. Then, hours later, one last text. Hope you're happy. You destroyed my life. I stared at it for a full minute. Thought about ignoring it. Then decided, no. One last message was deserved. I didn't destroy anything. I just refused to be your victim. Big difference. Blocked the number. That was the final thread. Snipped. She's still unemployed, according to mutual friends. Still living with her sister, who's reportedly had enough of the drama and is this close to kicking her out. Apparently the narcissistic husband story doesn't hold up when people were there, when they heard her affair partner's voice confessing, crystal clear, through a Bluetooth speaker. The guy? Gone. Vanished the moment they both got fired. Guess it's hard to feel romantic when you're jobless and under legal scrutiny. She's been posting vague Instagram stories now. Some people only loved the version of you they could control. And narcissists don't break hearts, they break homes. Most of the comments are from randoms or high school friends. The ones who were at the party. Silent. Funny how people go quiet when they know the truth. Me? I'm doing better than ever. The house looks completely different now. New couch. New paint. Got rid of everything she picked out. It doesn't feel like our house anymore. It feels like mine. I installed a wall-to-wall bookshelf in the office. Built it myself. Feels good using my hands again. Hung up a few prints I bought from a local artist she always said were too intense. Found out I like intense. And color. And not being micromanaged every time I buy something that costs more than $50. I'm back to building personal projects outside of work. Launched a small side hustle helping local businesses with security consulting. Clients have been rolling in steadily. That old spark, the one that existed before I started shrinking to make room for her ego, is coming back. Therapy's helped too. Figured if I was going to clean out my house, might as well clean out the emotional crawl spaces too. Turns out, I was codependent. Not in the clingy sense, but in the I'll keep quiet and make myself smaller if it means peace way. Not anymore. Now I speak up. Say no. Ask questions. Listen to the alarms instead of hitting snooze because it's more convenient. Started dating again, not seriously. Just enough to remember what it feels like when someone actually wants you, not your house, not your income, not your compliance. One woman I grabbed coffee with heard the story and said, "Wait, you played the recording at the party?" I nodded. She blinked. That's the coldest, most gangster move I've ever heard. We both laughed for 5 minutes. Not because it was funny, but because it was done. My brother says it best. She tried to play chess, and you flipped the board. Pretty much. The fallout hurt. But it was clean. She doesn't get to rewrite the ending. She doesn't get the last word. The financial hit? Yeah, it's real. Legal fees were just under $9,000. 2 years of spousal support at $850? That's $20,400. So about $29,000 total. Expensive lesson. But it bought me my life back. And you know what? Worth it. Because what I've gained can't be measured in money. Peace. Clarity. Respect, from others and from myself. And the deep, delicious silence of a house without lies. I still get that question sometimes. Do you miss being married? And my honest answer? I miss the idea. Not the reality. I miss who I thought I married, but that person never existed. That's the part that stings sometimes. That the whole thing, 7 years of shared holidays, inside jokes, Sunday routines, was built on a foundation that was already cracking. But I'm not bitter. Just wiser. Sharper. And dare I say, free. Funny thing is, once the dust settled, it wasn't the money that haunted me. It wasn't even the betrayal. It was the realization of how long I had tolerated being small in my own life. Because when you step out of the storm, you don't just dry off. You look back at the hurricane and go, wait, I lived in that? I'd spent years subtly adjusting myself to keep her happy. Skipping basketball games because she called them juvenile. Turning down job opportunities because she said, More hours? For what? So you can miss dinner? Letting her pick the furniture, the colors, the vibe, the friends. And all that time, I thought I was being a good husband. Turns out, I was just being trained to be compliant. And it worked, until it didn't. Because the moment she'd pushed too far, when she tried to stage my downfall in front of our families and friends, I stopped being the version of me she could manipulate. I became the version she never expected. The man who documents. The man who prepares. The man who shows up to an ambush with receipts and a Bluetooth speaker. There's something deeply satisfying about letting truth do the punching. After the dust settled, something unexpected happened. People started reaching out. Friends I hadn't seen in years. Coworkers who heard bits and pieces. They'd say things like, "You handled that like a damn spy. I wish I had your self-control. My ex tried to pull something similar. I just didn't have proof." I even got a message from one of her former work friends. She said, "I used to believe her. I feel like an idiot now. That party. I'll never forget it. You kept your head. You made your point. And you didn't throw a single insult." She ended it with, "That kind of composure is rare. I hope you're good." I am. I really am. But there was one thing left I hadn't done, one tiny piece of closure I didn't know I needed. I opened the old shared photo album we'd had on the cloud. Thousands of pictures. Vacations. Dinners. Parties. Just life. And I started going through them. One by one. At first, I expected nostalgia. Maybe sadness. But what I really saw was signs. Moments where I looked tired. Where I looked like someone trying to keep things together while the other person wasn't even in the same emotional room. Pictures where she looked flawless. Camera ready. And I looked like an extra on her set. Even our honeymoon, there's a photo where I'm pouring her a glass of wine. She's not even looking at me. She's looking at the camera. And suddenly, I understood something that had been gnawing at me since the party. She didn't love me. She loved the version of me that made her look good. The stability. The paycheck. The image of a doting husband with a good job and a clean house. She didn't marry a partner. She married a prop. And the moment I stopped playing the role, she replaced me with someone else to flatter her, laugh at her jokes, buy her dinners. But props don't talk back. And I did. I played the tape. And in doing so, I took back my voice. Now, that voice is loud and clear. It says things like, "No. That's not okay. I'm not shrinking for you. I'm not apologizing for setting a boundary." I still get the occasional flying monkey, someone who wasn't at the party but heard her side. Usually a DM. "Wow, you really embarrassed her. You could have handled it privately. Isn't that a bit much?" I don't engage. Just send back a thumbs up and move on. Because people who care more about her embarrassment than my betrayal? They were never on my team to begin with. And I've learned something priceless. It's better to be alone with your peace than partnered with your enemy. She still hasn't found work. Her sister posted on Facebook the other day. "Some people will drain your energy, your time, and your groceries. I'm done playing lifeboat." Pretty sure that was aimed squarely at her. Her mom? Still hates me. But at this point, that's more of a compliment than a concern. The guy? Gone so fast he left a cartoon smoke trail. Guess losing your job over an affair that wasn't even worth it tends to kill the vibe. I never responded to her last message. Didn't need to. The silence from my end speaks louder than anything she ever screamed. There was one moment, maybe 2 weeks after the dust had fully settled, where I stood in the hallway of my house, the one she used to call our sanctuary, and just listened. To the quiet. No footsteps pacing angrily. No sighs of manufactured disappointment. No passive-aggressive slams of cabinet doors. Just me. And the subtle hum of the fridge. It was beautiful. I had started marking tiny rituals of freedom. Saturday mornings became mine again. Coffee brewed strong, no one around to call it too bitter. Bacon sizzling without anyone saying, "You should cut back. It's bad for your cholesterol." I'd sit at the table, legs kicked up, scrolling through basketball stats and weekend plans like a teenager with no curfew. It felt earned. Her absence wasn't just space, it was recovery. The way light gradually filters back into a room you didn't realize had dimmed. I finally met up with a few friends from work who'd only seen the party aftermath through whispers and retold stories. One of them, Marcus, leaned in after a beer and said, "Be honest, was it really that bad?" I showed him a few screenshots I hadn't shared with anyone else. Messages from her and the guy, joking about how I wouldn't see it coming. How Neil's too passive to ever fight back. How this'll be clean if I do it right. He just stared. Then said, "Jesus. You didn't just dodge a bullet. You dodged a whole firing squad." Exactly. But what shocked me more was how many people had their own version of my story. Friends. Co-workers. Strangers who DM'd me after hearing what happened. Men. Women. All ages. Stories of betrayal, manipulation, long cons. Of marriages and relationships where one person gave everything and the other person sharpened knives in the dark. They all ended the same way. I wish I'd said something sooner. I wish I hadn't stayed so long. I wish I had receipts. That's when it hit me. This wasn't rare. This wasn't even surprising. This was routine. The only difference was, I got out before the damage became permanent. Before she could take the house. Before she could steal my reputation. Before she could make me believe I deserved to be discarded. And that made me one of the lucky ones. A few people told me I should write it all down. That maybe someone else might need to hear it. So I did. Not for revenge. Not for clout. For clarity. Because if even one person reads this and sees the same red flags early, if one person feels less alone, then this wasn't just a breakup story. It was a warning. She once said, "You never fight back." I never had to. Not loudly. Not violently. I let her run the con. And I let her step on every trap she laid for me. She wanted a public scene? She got it. She wanted sympathy? She lost it. She wanted to humiliate me? I gave her the mirror. Now, she's a ghost in a city where everyone remembers her fall. A woman with a half-burned social life, a shattered career, and a sister who only answers the phone if rent's due. And me? I'm a man rebuilding. Slowly. Carefully. Proudly. My therapist said something last week that stuck with me. You didn't just escape a bad marriage. You reclaimed your identity. He's right. Because I don't carry her anymore. Not her shame. Not her lies. Not her fake tears or fragile ego. I carry my own name again. My own weight. And it's lighter than I remembered. It's been 4 months since the party. 4 months since I stood in front of 40 people and took my marriage off life support with one press of a button. You know what I learned? That closure doesn't come with apologies. It comes with peace. The last update I got on her? She moved back to her hometown. 3 states away. Living with her grandmother. Posting, healing journey, memes with sunflowers and blurry sunsets. Still blaming toxic men for her downfall. The group chat she built her lies on. Deleted. Her ex-affair partner? Blocked her the minute his new job started. No one from the party talks to her anymore. Even her sister's gone no contact. Meanwhile, my life? It's clean. Quiet. Simple. Mine. I redecorated every room. Painted over the old beige with cool blues and bold grays. Traded our live, laugh, love wall art for a framed quote that actually means something. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And I do. Now, I believe myself, too. I look in the mirror and see a man who survived being conned by the person he trusted most. Not bitter. Not broken. Just wiser. I started seeing someone recently. Nothing serious yet. But it feels different. Lighter. No eggshells. No angles. Just conversation. Honesty. Mutual effort. She knows the whole story. Heard it all by the second date. Sipped her drink, raised an eyebrow, and said, "You brought evidence to your anniversary party? You're terrifying. I love it." We both laughed. I don't know where it's going. Don't need to. Because for the first time in a long time, I'm not afraid to be alone. I have my job. My friends. My family. My house. My dignity. She has her grandmother's guest room and a timeline full of quotes about rising from the ashes. I didn't burn her down. I just stopped putting out her fires. And the best part? Every now and then, I still get that Venmo notification. Your request to ex-wife for $0.00 is still pending. Not because I'm waiting. Just because I like seeing the words. Pending. Declined. Blocked. Done. Like a receipt. For freedom.